So, things have been kind of stressful lately, and I figured that since I have a little bit of time in between projects, I might try something a little different. Today I'm going to be working on a free crochet project. So, let me just dive into my little bag here, see what we've got, and let's get started. So these are the colors I'm thinking of working with today. I'm really feeling these red, these pinks, maybe this purple, I'm not entirely sure. All I know is the best thing about free crochet is that you just pick the colors that speak to you and you run with it. And of course, we have to have our scissors here. And for this project, I'll be using my favorite IH crochet hook. Plastic because it's easier to work with. So as with any other free crochet project, we're just going to start a chain and see where the muse takes us. One thing I like about free crochet is that you don't have to have a specific pattern or design that you're following. You basically just make whatever you want and piece them all together somehow. One thing I do advise people is to keep the ideas of harmony and balance in the back of your mind. Even though free crochet is basically a free-for-all, you still want the thing to come out looking pretty. And that's very easy to mess up if you're doing a mixed match of colors. Trust me, I know. You should see my first quilting project. As I craft this first square, let me fill you in on a couple of interesting things that have happened recently. So one thing that I did do a while ago, but I don't like to share, is I actually wrote my very first book back right after I finished college. It's called Colleen. You can find it on Lulu Press. You can even find it on Amazon. Really, I just wrote it because I wanted to write a book. It was on my bucket list and a personal dare. Without tattling too much on myself, I was a pretty petty person back then, and I don't know, I was trying to come to terms with some stuff going on in my life. Part of that dare was, I bet you can't write something better than X, Y, and Z. I still don't know if that's true. I've never gotten any real feedback on my book. But now I can say I have a book out there. Anyway, back to the point I was making. I was contacted recently by someone claiming to be a literary agent who wanted to represent me in traditional publishing. To make a very long and somewhat sad story short, it wasn't real. I did some background checking myself, and unfortunately it looks like it's not going to happen with this person. But it did make my day just to think that maybe, I don't know, this could become a career for me. But my writing has never been a career option, so I digress. After a short snack break, I decided to come back and make a second panel, slightly different from the first because again, I'm trying to use up yarn. Now the question is, how am I going to piece them together? So I decided to use the tried and true method of single crocheting the edges together. As long as you use the same color as your borders, it creates a seamless finish and has a nice texture to it. If you're anything like me and you're very, what's the word? Kinesthetic? Tactile. If you're a very tactile person like me. Anyway, back to my quick and random story for the day. So this guy that reached out to me, he was saying all the right things that made it sound like he wasn't a scammer. Of course, he opened up with, "This is not a sales call," so I probably should have seen that red flag coming. The one thing I do recommend to people out there who do want to pursue writing is to do your homework. It's totally possible for an agent to call you out of the blue if they find your work and think it has potential. But make sure you ask all the right questions too. I'm no expert on what to ask, but if you are considering writing, I recommend getting a Readsy account. I've got one myself, and when I was doing my digging on this guy, it really helped me figure out what I needed to ask and what I should have asked before when I first talked to him. Also remember that a legitimate professional, whoever they are, will never ask for money up front. Agents work on commission, meaning that they don't get paid until you get paid. Anywho, I'm no real expert on the subject, but the only advice I can give you is just do your homework, be diligent, and just watch out for yourself out there. There's a lot of scam artists. I figure I should at least say something about that from my experience. We artists have to stick together after all. Anyway, back to our free crochet project. So, now that our pieces are together, and it's got something of a nice red border to it, it's time to figure out how we're going to finish up this puppy. So, I decided to extend the edges just a little bit with this gray on the side. And I'm thinking right here, where I've added this top piece, is where I'm going to stabilize it with a red ribbon, if I have any. On the bottom though, let's get started on the tassels, because I think it just needs tassels. I don't know why, I just love tassels. They're not going to lay straight though, because I didn't pre-wash them or block them, but that's okay. This piece is nothing more for me to look at. And in this case, you have no one to please but yourself. And yes, I did borrow that from Akara Tours because she is a delight. Okay, so I didn't have any red ribbon that would fit, but not to worry. I have plenty of red yarn left over, so I'm going to make a red ribbon. How long it's going to be? I've got no idea. Probably this long, maybe shorter. But I'm going to keep trying until I get it right. Fingers crossed. And with that, decompression is complete and ready to hang, as soon as I had this loose yarn. I'm not gonna lie, I really needed this to help me cool down a little bit. I do apologize for my very strange side rant about books and self-publishing, but I'm hoping you found that entertaining. Now that she's hung up, I'm ready to start my other projects. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye!